What a night it has been. We just watched one hellacious main event take place. He was a little upset when he left here before, but let's hear from the challenger, Gringo Fantastico. Fantastico, can we get a few words? What happened out there?
Well, McKinney, it's pretty simple what happened out there. I had him. Was just about to win championship, and once again, Ophidion's cronies had to come out like every other time.
Do you have anything you'd like to say to Ophidian and his Snake Squad after they tried to demask you in front of your hometown crowd?
To tell you the truth, McKinney, I don't care about the mask. I don't need it. I just want revenge on the Snake Squad for costing me the Ascension Championship.
But the mask, it's your legacy. It's a huge dishonor to remove the mask.
That's all you care about, you and this damn shit show. The mask. The mask. Don't lose the mask. I was just robbed of the XWA Ascension Championship, and all you care about is whether or not my family's legacy has been tarnished.
I didn't mean any disrespect.
I was just handcuffed to the ropes. And again, another unprotected chair shot to the head. Do you people care about my well-being? No, you don't. It's the goddamn mask all the time. I'm more than this mask. I'm a fucking person under here.
Well, I don't think...
No, you don't think. You just speak. Week after week, headshot after headshot. No one's gonna do anything about it. Just sit back and ask about my heritage. Like any of you gives a real shit. Oh, what was that? I'm not supposed to be giving a heel promo because I'm a face? Well, give me a reason to be a face. Right now I say fuck the crowd and fuck all of you back there. What's the matter? Afraid I might say fuck a few times? And you'll lose your little sponsors? Well, how about this? You're all a bunch of... dirt sheets. Okay, I'm sick of waiting on him. I'm doing this freaking episode.
But don't we have a guest coming on?
Supposedly, but do you really trust Francois's gonna come through? Because I sure as don't.
It's your call, boss, but what flick are we going to watch?
Hell, I don't know. Let's look through the box. Hey, here's a gem.
What is it?
Graduation day.
That's a pretty good one.
Hey, hurry and load it up before he gets here. Don't... Please... Please tell me you never played baseball in school. You suck. Ugh. All right, get that shit in there and roll it. Oh, hell no! For the love of Christ, cut the feed! What the f*** was that? How the f*** did that goddamn travesty get in there? Wait, I know that laugh. That was from Jedi. Of course.
Oh, what? You don't want to watch Plan 9 from outer space? Your favorite film?
You goddamned well know that it's not my favorite film.
Oh, look at you.
What the piss?
I'm telling you right now, I ain't in the mood for any of this bullshit.
Oh, them's fighting words. Oh, well then. Looks like someone just hit puberty.
Yeah, well, you spend some time in this irradiated hellhole of Tromaville, and you'll start learning some new tricks.
You've got nothing on me, Lucha Dog.
Yeah, we'll see.
And remember, if you strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
That was also from Star Wars. Bullshit.
And I won't be able to break today's guest here.
He's got a point.
Shut it, Projector Whelp.
I was agreeing with you.
I don't care about your insignificant agreement.
Eat it, Francois. Guys, it's getting hot as hell. Fantastico. You might want to chill.
Who knew?
The films are melting.
Yes, the films. Pay attention.
Fine.
Yes, that's what I thought.
Why don't you just shut the hell up? And I swear, if you ever pull that Plan 9 shit on me again, I'm gonna roast your ass.
Yeah, try it.
Whatever. So where's Jonah?
Who?
God damn it, you know who. Jonah Ray, where is he?
Oh, I couldn't find him.
What do you mean you couldn't find him?
What, did I fucking stutter? I said I couldn't find him.
Why don't you just use your stupid powers or something?
Because I don't want to.
Come on, man, we have a freaking show to do here.
Oh, then do it.
God damn it. Fine. Hola, hip, cool, fantastic cats, and welcome to Fantastico Disasterpiece Theater. I'm your host who's about to go nuclear on this ghost, legendary irradiated luchador, Gringo Fantastico.
Oh, we're back to the ghost thing again. You know, I'm going to go get a bludgeoning tool so I can finally beat into your skull cave that I am not a goddamned ghost. I'm a fucking demon.
Yeah, demon, ghost, who gives a shit?
Oh, you will. Now!
Whoa, Fantastico. You're like a superhero.
Yes, they can call him the masked mediocrity.
Burn.
Bro, whose side are you on anyway?
Sorry. Funny is funny.
Anywho, fantastic hats. I think we have a great show for you today, depending on how our budget is, or how Francois is doing his job.
Subtle.
Thanks. Our special guest tonight is none other than comedian, musician, and star of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Jonah Ray. Come on, Francois.
No, I told you I couldn't find him.
So full of it. Come on, man. We promised everyone Jonah was coming to come on the show tonight.
So that I can find him. What the hell is in it for me?
Damn it, fine. What do you want?
Your soul.
Yeah, then I'm dead.
Oh, you you can live without a soul, just look at Congress.
Burn!
Touche. Fine. You can have it for the day.
For the day? That's hardly worth it.
Think about it. You'll get to tell the Dark Lord that you were able to get my soul. He doesn't have to know that you have to give it back.
Oh, that would skyrocket my credibility with my Clive Barker book club.
Clive Barker Book Club?
I mean my demonic hill priest brethren.
Yeah, okay. Bullshit! Sure, Francois. The Hell Priest will be elated with your accomplishment.
Yes, I can see it now. Francois, Francois, Francois!
What the hell is going on?
No clue.
Why is he always after your soul? He never tries to get mine.
Beats the hell out of me. Whatever. Look at him.
Fine, oh rotund wonder. You have a deal.
That projector guy brings up a good point.
I very much doubt that, but what?
You've been after my soul for like 4 seasons now. Why the hell do you want mine when you don't bother to go after anyone else's?
No reason. It's because you're a dipshit. Yes, because of your dipshittery. That was close.
No, whatever. Here's my signature.
Yes! The power!
What the shit?
Francois, knock it the off. You look like the damn sea witch in The Little Mermaid.
He does.
Shut it, Webb. The power is overwhelming. It's burning. It's burning. Dear Dark Lord, it's burning.
Holy shit!
Whoa, Francois, you look like a Claire's vomited. I suddenly have the urge to get my ear pierced.
Hey guys!
What the is all this?
It's really great to finally meet you. Francois had to leave. I'm Francine.
Give it a rest, Francois.
Seriously, I'm Francine.
Bullshit.
No, seriously. And I would love it if you could keep the swearing to a minimum.
This is wacky as hell.
Yeah, you're telling me. Okay, Francine. So what the hell are you doing here?
Language, please.
What the heck was that?
That's better. So, it looks like you're short a guest. Let me help you out there.
Is this for real?
We like to call this a crossover.
Whatever you say, Rainbow Dash.
Haha. Fantastico watches My Little Pony.
Fudge off, bro. Fudge off. Anyway, bite me. You know what Rainbow Dash is, too.
Oops, no worries. I'll fix that right up.
Wow, thanks.
You're absolutely welcome, Fantastico.
Okay. Anywho, Jonah, how the heck's it hanging? It's an honor to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
I'm not even trying to kiss your posterior.
No. I mean, I get it. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you wanting me to be on it. You know, it's like, you know, everyone's got to stick together. It's a community, you know.
Sweet. Just for the record, the posterior kissing comes on the second date. I'm a classy broad.
So, remember yesterday when I told you we were just hanging out, friends? I thought of something earlier. This wasn't my idea the original time. But
Also, it's great to have you on here. Someone who actually plays with puppets on TV as well as I do. We have that camaraderie thing going.
I don't know what you mean by puppets. I mean, I act with robots, if that's what you're.
Oh yeah, my bad. Neither do I. I have these foul-mouthed piñatas.
I'm not foul-mouthed.
Right. Anywho, Jonah, so you've never told me this story. How did you first get into comedy?
I got into comedy mainly because I didn't know how else to get into acting and showbiz stuff or making stuff. I wanted to do like sketch comedy stuff, and I looked up classes around Los Angeles. I just showed up to Los Angeles thinking, yeah, this is easy. And then all those classes cost money, and I was kind of young and scared. I was 19, and I just didn't end up doing anything because I didn't know what to do and I couldn't figure it out. So I just like kind of froze. And I was working at a record store in Venice Beach, and the guy Ron Benway at Benway Records, he kind of noticed that I wasn't like too happy. And then he's like, you seem down a lot lately. And I was like, yeah, I think I just like, I don't know what it is, and like he's like, well, I think it's because you came out here to do something and you're not doing it. I was like, yeah, but how am I supposed to go and do this stuff? And he's like, well, what, like stand up, you like stand up? I was like, yeah, I like stand up. And he's like, well, go do stand up. And I go, it seems kind of scary. He's like, well, I'll go with you. So we just started going. He would take me after work. We'd close up the shop and we'd go to open mics and watch. And then I gearing up. He's like, I'll do a set if you do a set. And so we both started doing stand up at the same time. And it just kind of kept on working out. It was a real right time, right place. Like, the scene in LA was starting to bubble up, and I just kind of, I thought I'll do stand up until I can get other stuff, not to disrespect stand up in that way, but I was like, I didn't know how else to get in. And I was like, I'll meet people, and then I'll meet other comics and be like, let's make videos and sketches, or let's put on a little play, or, let's make a movie. Yeah. So that's kind of how it all happened. Long story long. So it was just kind of, it was my entry point into trying to have a career of making fake things.
Man, you're brave. I would have been extremely scared to do something like that.
I think it was dumb. I think I was like too dumb to like really be scared. I think that's a big part of it sometimes, like you have to really like lie to yourself so much to be able to go like, yeah, man, I know it's 1,000,000 to 1 odds that I'll go out there and make a living off of it, but I think I'm the guy. It's a bit of ego that I never really thought I had, or maybe that's where all my ego went. And every other part of my life, I just felt like a piece of shit.
Well, it worked out for you.
I couldn't be more fortunate for like what happened from just, and I really owe it so much of it to that guy, to so many like people, but to Ron for just like, boosting me out, giving me that support as a friend in a place I didn't know a lot of people.
That's super cool. But yeah, they always told us in film school, don't go to Los Angeles. That's the worst place you can go.
I kind of agree in a way. Like, it's like, a lot of comics ask me, I want to start comedy, or I just start comedy. Should I move to LA? And I tell them no. Maybe maybe now because there's so many shows. But when I started, there weren't too many like shows around town. And so you got seen a lot faster. But for me, I was so green, and I know it still worked out for me, but I was so green, and I failed in front of so many people, and I had to grow up in front of so many people. And you kind of want to, I think, come to LA like a bit fully formed. So I tell people, I say go to Nashville, go to Chicago, go to Philly, go to Austin, Minneapolis, Seattle. Those are good comedy towns. I say go start there if you want it, because you can still there's a lot of shows going on. You can really get good, and then come to LA when you're ready.
Huh. Yeah, that's cool. That makes perfect sense. That's what they always told us as well. Go to Austin or Georgia or whatever. In grad school, they were like, go the heck wherever you want to go. Like,
yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Like, good luck, weirdos.
like, fuck you. I love that Brian Posehn shit.
I was just gonna say that was a perfect. Fuck you! It's Star Wars.
Slayer.
He's the first comic, first like famous comic I ever talked to.
Damn, that's super cool. So, was that always in your plan to come out to LA and do your thing, or did you have other aspirations?
I was playing in bands. I was playing in punk bands, hardcore bands when I was growing up in Hawaii. That's where I was born and raised, and so that's what I did. Like, because I liked performing, but it was safe to be behind a drum set playing loud music, for me. And it was, finding the punk scene in Hawaii, saved my life. I don't know what would have happened to me if I had just been this nerdy kid on an island in the middle of the Pacific, if I hadn't found, all these other nerdy kids that are also cool, that thing of just like, oh, they also like horror movies. Oh, they also like this. And yeah, like And so and it was a real great place to be creative, because it was like everyone was trying different stuff all the time with the punk scene. So, you know, I don't think I ever really intended to be a musician. I just really loved acting. I loved movies so much. I loved comedy. I loved horror. And I just wanted to, it was just that thing that, you know, that I don't know how to, like, when you're a kid and you're just like, that's the thing I want. Because, and I kind of think it's a bit of that feeling of when you're younger and maybe you're anxious or a little lonely, you know, these things, these movies, this comedy, horror, all this kind of stuff, it makes you feel a little less alone, because you're like, if there's people making this stuff and I like it, and I feel like, you know, Mr. Science Theater is a big part of that for me, where it's that, you know, oh, this is so weird, and there's people like that get it. I always feel that stuff was the like that scene in The Jerk, where you know, Navin Johnson, you know, Steve Harvey's character hears what's the music he hears is, you know, it's like that, it's a real just generic pop.
Yeah.
He's like it's that character that Fred Armisen used to do on SNL, but it's yeah, but he's just like, this is the music, and like it's like, you know, like, he never got the blues.
It's like a eureka moment, like
yeah. And I was like, oh, this is possible. This is where I want to go. I want to go out there and I want to be a part of this. And I just had, you know, dreams and fantasies of being like a movie maker and an actor, and just making stuff, and, you know, and I couldn't think of anything else. Rob Schraub, who was, you know, the man who created you know, Scud the Disposable Assassin and the Sarah Silverman program, and, you know, writes on Rick and Morty. He did a book of like just a lot of odds and sods, like projects and designs of stuff that never really got off the ground. And the book has the best title, I think, when it comes to the foolish attempts of making a career in, you know, the arts. And the book is called "But I Can't Do Anything Else."
That's
and
good.
I feel that's how I feel. I go, I don't know, bartender. I don't know what these skills. I don't know what any of these skills translate to, besides community organizer, maybe for like a kickball game. But that's even a bit too complicated. A roster.
I don't know who goes on fourth.
Yeah, exactly.
Just clean up. I don't.
No. Once again, it's home base. It's not fourth.
That's awesome. When I got into comedy, I think it was because I wanted to know what it was like to eat ramen for 10 years and sleep on other people's couches.
It's like, do you want to know what that's like? You could go into comedy or punk rock. You'll be allowed that opportunity to know what that's like, you know. And that's, I think, like coming in from my perspective of like what I consider successful is, you know, like the bands I listen to, it's like as long as like someone's paying attention, you're a success. That's all. It doesn't matter how many people after a certain point. Like financially, sure it does, but like when it comes to feeling fulfilled, like you're doing it. If you're actually doing it, if someone's paying attention, it doesn't matter if it's, you know, 1 or 3 or 8 or whatever. Like, it's like, if someone's paying attention and someone likes it, then it's a success. There's no doubt about that.
I've done a lot of shows when I was in bands where it would be like 2 people up front headbanging, everyone else is doing something else. But at least I got 2.
I remember this, like my band did a show in San Francisco, like at some record store back room or something like that, and like it's like a bunch of just, you know, hipsters, like, you know, arms folded, and then there was this one dude that like got it, like danced to like the funkier parts we did, and then just started like kind of like moshing like during the harder parts, and like afterwards he was like, "You guys are great." And then he invited us back to his place, like we were able to have a place to crash that night. He made us all food, you know. It was perfect. Yeah, but like that was like that one person liking it, like saved our night.
Yeah, I've been on shows where nobody's doing anything. That's like, I wonder if we learn how to make cricket sounds on our instruments, and then we could figure that shit out then.
I know. I did me and Kumail Nanjiani had a comedy show in the back room of a comic book store for years.
Oh, yeah, The Meltdown.
Yeah, The Meltdown. And there was literally, just because it was an old building, there were crickets in the walls during the summer. So, and if some joke didn't go, man, you'd hear those crickets. It got picked up on when we did the TV show. We're like, should we like fumigate before the, and everyone's like, no, we gotta just let those crickets. It's part of the show. It's the
that's like another joke in itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we touched a little bit on it, but how did your first gig go?
No, I mean my first stand-up gig, that one was at the
Crickets.
It was
Crickets in the
bad.
wall.
You know, I did okay. I was like, I came out pretty good. It was an open mic crowd. It was a Cafe on Lancashire in North Hollywood. And I did like okay, it was like a polite crowd. But then I did a joke that was like gross. I was 19 or 20, and you know, I had like a super gross joke. Like and this was 2001 or 2, so it's like
It's still okay.
it's still bad. It's still like it's not like a great joke, but it's like but it's one of those things where it's like it's gross and it's like and inappropriate, and like everyone just got super quiet, and some dude was like, "Yo, you're fucked up," and I was too nervous to like rebound from like a heckler with the most honest truth. Not "you suck," "yo, you're really fucked up." And I was just like, I know, but that's the point of the joke. The other jokes were good. There was a cute one about a squirrel. Like I just like, and that was kind of indicative of my entire like stand-up, time. Was just like I could come up with bits, but I always had the hardest time like putting them all together, because I would just think of like what would be funny to talk about. Like this is a funny premise, and I think it's a funny way to attack it is like acting like this kind of person that would talk about that. This thing is funny. It's more kind of a one-liner, so I have to spend time and be personable to make the one-liner. It's like, and I don't think any of it, like there was no congruency to it, and I think that's what like is very indicative of that very first show.
Yeah, you know what though? Like if some guy, it's like we were talking about before, some guy comes up like, "You're up," I'd have been like, "I'm doing something right."
Yeah. I just think I wasn't like, I what I should have like noted was that like that threw me off and messed me up. And of course it didn't stop me. I kept on doing stand-up, but it was I think it showed me that there was something I needed to work on that I never did with my stand-up. Is like this like neediness. Like I was like, I wanted them to like me, because I don't think I felt, very well liked in my life. So it's like, I think, not to like armchair myself, but I think there was a bit of like, so when some guy says you're fucked up, you want to go, "I'm sorry, I'll change. I'll make myself better. I'm sorry, daddy."
Well, I've been digging through your stuff, anything I can find, and that's what thing I admire about most is you're quick-witted as heck.
Yay!
Dude, your stuff on At Midnight, oh my God.
Gosh.
That was my favorite thing, because of how it was all jokes, and I love just like doing jokes, and like, like you could just play a joke like as you want it, because it's okay, because everyone knows like the premise and the setup. So you could just go in and be funny. And it was my favorite thing to do. I really, really loved it. I had so much fun. And like, it's like, and it wasn't a real show, like game show. Like, it's like the points were so arbitrary, but like every comic that did it was just like, it was like, no, I want to win. Like he really like, Ron Funches was always so like, he would just like, he would get angry if he didn't win. Like, it's like, he was super competitive. Probably the most competitive was Ron Funches and Doug Benson when it came to that show.
When did you come to the realization that you've made it, you belong, or are you still not there yet?
I don't think, I don't know. I don't know if that's just like the way my brain works, that I don't feel that way, or I need a healthier perspective. I don't think it's like, I don't feel like I'm there, and I don't think there is a there. That's where I'm kind of starting to like feel, I turned 40 really soon. I think I'm just like, oh, I don't think there is you never really get there. Cause like, I'm friends with some people that have gotten really famous, and I see the good it does, for the career, or like, work, cause that's all I ever really think about. Like, it's like, is there ever a time where I don't have to worry about work? And like, not really, it's like, I still have to make sure I'm like working on stuff so I can get stuff so I can make a living and pay my bills. I can't just go, you know what? I did it. I made the money. So with that, like, it's like, but being friends with, like Kumail, for example, like, he's very, happy with the success he has, but I know it, like, he still doesn't feel like it's, permanent, or like he nailed it or like hit it, you know, like it's like now I did it, because there's always going to be some kind of goalpost moving. And when you spend so much time doing this stuff, you know, you're climbing the ladder and you're looking up, and like you're just seeing other people, you know, past you and seeing how far up they're getting, but you rarely ever look back down and see that, like, oh, like there's a couple people that I was working with that like I'm way far past where they were, and we all started at the same time. And you know, it's all relative, really, you know.
Sorry, it was a weird question to ask.
It's an incredible question. I like, and I'm sorry that I always have this like tendency to like dovetail into like super sincere answers.
No, man, no, you're super cool, dude. It was a great answer. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't think there's ever been a time where, you know, I felt like I made it.
Well, I can put it into context if you want.
Sure.
So Dave Grohl, right? He said that Nirvana never knew they were famous until Weird Al spoofed one of their songs. So I think now you can say you're famous because you covered some of Weird Al's songs.
That's a good point. That's when Weird Al, you know, realized he wasn't as famous, that he couldn't sue me. I mean, that's the kind of the incredible stuff of, you know, my life, man, is like the fact that I know Weird Al. I've worked with Weird Al. Like, I'm in his movie coming up. Like, it's like I've written sketches for him and with him and different iterations of different little shows here and there. Like, I did that record. I was like, is it okay if I put it out? He's like, yeah, man, go for it. Like, and then like, you know, knowing that, like, you know, Al could, like, it's like, he knows I could have just given him the record, but he actually mail ordered it from the label. Like, the guy from like Mike Park from Asian Man Records was like, he's like, dude, Weird Al just like mail ordered a record. Like, it's like, I'm at my grandma's house, because he still does the label out of his mom's garage.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm packing a record in my like for Weird Al. This is incredible. Thank you for that. And I was just like, wow, okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's like it's real wild to, you know, like the fact that I, you know, like I know him and I get a Christmas card from him, and like we talk, and he puts me on his list for the shows, and then also at the same time, like, I'm on Mr. Sensei. There's all these gnarly, crazy things that, like, you know, I could say, you know, it's very impressive to my 14-year-old self. You know?
Man, to me, I'm like, freaking sweet, bro.
No, I mean, like, it's also incredible to me, you know. But it is like, I think I guess I'm always afraid of just resting on laurels, you know, or having an ego. I feel like even like taking pride in yourself feels like egoic to me. And I know there's a bit of a, you know, self-love that needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm like that too. Every time I do anything, like for this show or whatever, I'm always like, man, I can do better than that. I have a little bit of success, and I'm still like, that's not good enough. And
and so you should know that happens, I think, to everybody and anybody. You know, it doesn't ever seem like I kind of, you know, because I sometimes go like, oh man, if I didn't have to worry about money, I'd probably be a lot, like, you know, like a lot more mellow, like, you know. But just like, but that's just life, you know. It's just, you know, this is the you know, the job I chose to do, and you have to kind of, you know, Hunter S. Thompson, buy the ticket, take the ride. You know, you can't. Yeah, it's like, it's fun to go down, but you're also gonna have to wait in line, go up the thing, and it's gonna, you know, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But you know, the thing is, like, even I have people look at me going like, it's like, hey, maybe someday you'll like really do something. Like, you know, I still, like, from other people's perspective, it's like I'm still kind of on the lower end of things. You know, it's like, if you think about people who are in, like, you know, Hollywood movies, or on, you know, that maybe have acted in stuff that's not only on cable, you know, like, it's there's you know, there's the network side of things, and so there's always going to be some way you can look at it as yourself as being not as good or better or something like that, but really in its essence, none of it really matters. It's all the same, and all of it needs to exist for any of it to exist. So you know, I always think about the book Our Band Could Be Your Life, which is about like all the underground scene in the 80s that pretty much led up to Nirvana being able to get popular enough and then signed, and then have Nevermind come out. It's a book basically about how, like, all of these other things need to exist. Black Flag need to exist. Sonic Youth need to exist. Dinosaur Jr., The Replacements, all these bands, like, that weren't as big as Nirvana, and never will be. But like they all had to exist for Nirvana to have a place to, you know, do their thing.
Yeah, because it's kind of built that whole scene, really.
Exactly. And
It's like-
so it all needs to take place for any of it to work.
Alrighty, I suppose we should get into the movie. We'll get more into your career during our next break.
That sounds like an awesome idea.
Sure, Francois.
Honestly, I'm not Francois. I'm here to help out any way I can. I just want to be a big part of what you're doing and try to make this a happy place.
All right, Francine. Anywho, projector guy, I think it's time for 1981's graduation day. Fire up the first reel.
Yay, graduation day!
Wow, this is pretty fucked up right here.
Alrighty, Fantasticats, so there's a lot to talk about with this flick. There are all kinds of people in it, and there's all kinds of chest overexposure.
What do you mean by overexposure?
He means that they were topless.
Well, that's a nice way to put it. Way to go, Fantastico.
You're weirding me the hell out.
Heck,
What?
heck is much nicer.
I'm not gonna say heck, it's hell.
It's heck.
Hey, knock that shit off.
Stop.
Bye. Just stop and stop.
Unlimited power.
This is one fucked up pinata.
Do you want some too, projector guy?
No, thank you.
Then stop swearing.
Anywho, so we have a lot of people in this flick, Jesus. Most notably to me, the coach played by Christopher George. Most of you probably recognize him from Pieces and City of the Living Dead, but he's also in some rad flicks like The Exterminator, Enter the Ninja, and Mortuary.
Wasn't he in Grizzly?
Yeah, he was in Grizzly. Good call. This dude was in everything. He was in Chisholm with John Wayne, not the other word, but Chisholm. And he was also in El Dorado, a crap ton of TV shows. Unfortunately, he died of a heart attack at a pretty young age, I think of 52. He probably would have been a huge horror icon. We also have Linnea Quigley in this very early in her career. One of the things I always found hilarious about this flick is the box art. It always likes to point out that Vanna White is in the movie.
I love Vanna White.
I'm sure you do. Anywho, she's in this flick, but she has a very, very small role as well. They always made it sound like she was the freaking star. I said freaking.
You're walking a fine line, luchador.
I'm sorry, shit. Taki. Shiitake. Can I just have back the damn swear jar?
No! For your beer fund? Alcohol is bad.
What?
Fantastico. Not a great idea.
Yummy, 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 yumma. Yummy, yummy, yumma.
Wait, isn't that from Police Academy 4?
Yep.
Does that work?
I don't know, but the movie's fun. Okay, let's get back to our chat with Jonah. So, I have a question that I've always been curious about. Do you guys call Mystery Science Theater 3000 Misty 3K like the fans do?
Yeah, I mean, we call it MST usually if we refer to it.
MST.
MST. Yeah. Or Mystery Science. Mystery Science sometimes, or MST. Yeah, it's odd. It kind of just depends on how much time we have.
I just always wondered. The fans are always like, it's Misty 3K. And I'm like, I wonder what they call it.
Well, yeah, MST3K, MST3K, and then like the fans are Misties, and so like I hear people say Misty3K, and then you just I don't know.
So aside from Misty MST, what's been your favorite gig, or what's one of your more favorite gigs?
So like the thing that like I mean, they're all super, they all mean a lot to me. Like, Meltdown for sure, because it was like, we were just doing the show because it was a live show. We were just doing it because we wanted to do a live show and we were friends, and, it was an excuse to hang out. And then for it to become a TV show was so, unexpected and wild, but, and, the one that's like closest to like my sensibility and my heart would be a show I did for 2 seasons on CISO, which was like an NBC like streaming platform. But I did these 2 seasons of this half-hour show called Hidden America with Jonah Ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that's on VRV now. It's all the episodes are up there for free. But like, it's like I always wanted to do like a sketch show, and I had an idea for a sketch show that was like you would almost feel like a narrative thing, because it would be like a roaming straight man, almost kind of like Seinfeld-esque, where like, Seinfeld was the straight man to all these different kind of characters in his life. And but I baked it all into a travel show parody, like a Bourdain parody. And,
Nice.
and so like, and because I was obsessed with Bourdain, and because I love like how that show was shot. So it's like, I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to kind of like do like kind of a, Mr. Show style sketch show where all the sketches kind of combine because of the aspect of it being a travel show with a host, but then I can also shoot the shit out of it, make it look really good and stylish. Like, I could still get my rocks off with like, getting cool shots, and doing cool like musical stuff, and we were able to use we did a deal with Sub Pop Records to be able to do like use their music library to a point. It's not like we could it's like, can I use Nirvana something from Bleach? No, you can't. But it really is like, had like, some friends write on it and work on it with me. Mike Mitchell, who's one half of the Doughboys from the Doughboys podcast. He was a writer on it, and he played a character on it, like a Guy Fieri style character named Chaz Duffy, who was like my enemy. And like sometimes our shows run into each other. Like
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so that one was like kind of like, and that was like it was like all me, and maybe that's like egotistical to say. I was just like, it's like the one that's most special, but it's like the one that like really like it was my first kind of solo outing, and people knew me from like the Nerds podcast or the Meltdown or all these kind of different things where I was like always with people, or I was like a supporting player or a co-player. And this one I was like, oh, this is my voice, this is my thing, this is how I want it to be, and I had like the main decision making position on that, and that's why it's super, super special to me.
No, I totally get that. It's kind of like your brain love child.
Yeah, exactly. It was just really like, and I was able to talk about like a lot of comedic premises that I was like not able to figure out how to do with stand-up or anything like that, this is how I want to make fun of, and being also able to like have it also be oddly like a personal like story of like, I did a few commercials for Bing.com. And like when those came out, I started kind of getting offered around the same time as Midnight being popular too. It was I was getting like offers to just host stuff, like Discovery Channel or History Channel or something like that. Like it's like, oh, we need like we're doing the show and like we need like a nerdy white guy host, and they weren't even asking me to really like audition or anything like that. They were just asking me if I wanted to do it, and I'd just be like, no, I don't want to do it, because I didn't want to host. I never intended to be a host. I wanted to play, and that's so because I'm like the host of Mystery Science Theater, but like that's your play acting. It's not real. I'm not going like it's like, that's really funny, we're gonna be right back with more blah blah. You're not like not thrown to segments and stuff. And so I got just these offers and I just they're like, what do you mean? It's like, we're not asking you to audition. We have orders for an episode. It's like let's. And I go, I just don't. I only want to do fake things. And so I started to think about what kind of the ego someone who really wants to be a host, and having known some working in the E building in G4, like knowing people who really like to be like, I want to be a host. Like it's like the ego someone has to be like, it's like, what people want to watch? Me eating. And so. So like I started to like think about like my own issues with hosting, and I'm incorporating that into the version of myself I play. Like, what would I be if I was just like the worst version of myself, but then also hated myself? And I pulled a lot from Alan Partridge, which is Steve Coogan's brilliant character from the UK. But just that's why I was able to do like a lot of like stuff like that on it. And on that show I had like Weird Al on the show. I had, Anthony Bourdain shows up in the second season. I was like able to just go all over the country and like shoot sketches and like have a bunch of wild people in it. It was great.
That's pretty rad. And the shots you were talking about getting, you gave me the photo book. Those are really great shots. There's some really cool stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a shutterbug.
I also appreciate what you wrote on the book for me as well. That really actually did mean a lot to me. I showed my wife and I was like, holy shiitake.
Nice.
Well, I mean, Misty 3K or MST was such a big part of my childhood too. And the fact that you're the host of one of my favorite shows of all time, and then you put that there, that meant the world to me.
No. It's like, I because it's one of my favorite shows of all time, and the fact that I get to be the host of it, it's like it blows my mind. And so I don't take it lightly, and I don't to not be like super stoked and be super stoked for, like with people on it, like would be, I think, a fucking sin against fucking the world.
You're great on it. And like I said, it's not the second date, so I'm not kissing your posterior. But everyone liked Joel, everyone liked Mike. Were you nervous about how everyone was going to take you helming the show?
Of course I was, because I knew, because of being a part of the fandom, that's like one of the things that, like, you tell somebody you like the show, and if they know what show you're talking about, the next question is always Joel or Mike. It was always Joel. It's like, like, Joel, you're more of a Joel or Mike guy. And that's the thing. It's like, I liked both of them. I thought they both brought so much. I was super excited when Mike took over because I recognized him from being in all the sketches. He was always playing great characters. And I always liked Mike a lot for that reason, because I thought he was like such a good, shapeshifter on that show. And Joel was just so like iconic and perfect. And so I knew exactly, like, when I was waiting for it, I was super, super scared of, how people would react, and maybe even somewhat I looked for it a bit. There was people go like, hey, I'm really excited you're doing. Then I would, like, there would be a few people say that, and then one person would be like, you're gonna ruin my favorite show, and I'd be like, motherfucker, then I'd be ruining my favorite show. How's that work?
Like, kiss my grits, bitch.
And it's like, it's just like, I'm already super nervous, like, I'm gonna blow it, and and I just like, I was like, why would I ruin my favorite show? Like, why would someone think that I would do that? And it made me really put it, like, a ton of stuff in perspective, like fandom, my own fandom, and things I've already said in my life, prior up to that, kind of going like, it's like, no one's trying to make something bad, it's like so many things could go wrong, but to like make the thing, and I just wanted it to be as good as it could, it's like, and also realizing there was a lot of kind of like, there's only so much I can do. I could write jokes, but it depends, are they going to get put in? I could say them as funny as I can, but are they going to be that funny? I'll do my best, but there's so many other elements to it, and it wasn't really till the second season where I was like, I'm going to like focus on, I'm just going to be as funny as I can when I need to be funny. And that's all I can control.
So did you have problems responding to the robots? Are they feeding you lines, or how does that work?
No, they're there. No, they're there. The robots are there, and they're like, puppeteers are there, and Hampton and Baron are on either side of me too. So Hampton and Baron are like, have these like remote control things. So there's puppeteers doing the bodies, and then Hampton and Baron have like a little RC controllers for the lip flaps.
Oh well, hell, that's awesome.
So they're right next to me, and they're just like, so I still can turn, towards them, like when I hear them, so I can still be in the moment. And the puppeteers we have are so they're Henson trained, some of them, so they're very intuitive to like going along with, like, because a lot of Henson puppets are all multiple people, so they totally know how to do it. And there's always a conversation between Baron and Hampton and the puppeteers about like, hey, I'm going to say it like this, well, it's like this, let's work on a move here, and we all kind of do that. But it was, there is like the eye line. I noticed that's the main thing. I noticed like my eye line shifts around sometimes, like when I'm talking to the bots, because it's just like, yeah, but it's like in my head I can. I'm just like, yeah.
Alrighty, I would really love to talk some more about MST if you don't mind indulging with those.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well then, we'll get into those during the next break. For now, we need more high school chest overexposure and human shish kebabs. Projector guy, fire up the next reel for graduation day.
You got it.
kind of nice not having to deal with Francois's bullshit. Shasta.
Good catch.
Thank you. Let's do this. See? I told you, shish kebab.
That poor football guy. He didn't even do anything.
Okay, Unikitty ripoff. What the heck is up with you? You can't handle this? We've watched much worse.
Why are you being so mean?
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean, but you need to get some thick skin if you're going to be hanging around here.
Okay, I'll try.
And you need to make some concessions.
Like what?
You can't just be zapping us with Skittle splooge every time you hear us swear.
But swearing is bad. It's not good for your soul.
I'm sure my soul will be fine. Listen, since you were nice enough to bring Jonah in here, I'll try and be good, but you need to make concessions.
Like what?
Like my beer.
But...
Listen, I'll try not to swear, but you gotta let me have my beer. It ain't Sunday. Unless, of course, any of you are watching this on a Sunday, in which case, shh. Anywho, I get beer, you get swear free. Deal?
No, absolutely not.
You know, this is some bullshit. Ow! Rainbows hurt. Fine. Gosh, let me just get back to this.
I kind of miss Francois.
Nah, this is still better. Anywho, Jonah, let's get back to some questions. So, getting back into Mystery Science Theater, you did this stuff on Netflix. Now you're doing it on the Gizmoplex. Like, what's the difference with production? Are there less chefs in the kitchen with the Gizmoplex?
What's odd, you know, for the Netflix seasons, because I was, you know, I was acting in them and I was writing on them. I wasn't a producer per se, but like we would produce, like, you know, me and Elliot Kalin would, you know, write the riffs and put the riffs in and put the shows together and the sketches and stuff like that. But we didn't really have to deal with notes or anything. That was all Joel and up there. And then there was another company, it was like a production company helping out, which was Abominable Pictures. And I felt those were too big. I remember the first day getting on set, I was like, this is too big, this is too much. We don't need all this. There's a lot of people here. We don't need all this space. It's like, you know, but it wasn't really my department. And then, like, you know, we did the second season, it was just as big. And I was like, this is too much, it's too much. As far as creative, I don't know. I don't really know what like came down from above, you know. Clearly, you know, if anything did come down from above, maybe like Joel and them didn't listen, and that's, you know, why they didn't want more. But going over to the Gizmoplex now, like, you know, just independently, we just did it. Like my friend Clint Trucks, who's a producer, came on to produce, you know, to basically be a one-man production company, like get all the, you know, find the places, do all the art organization, and make sure, you know, everything's, you know, made and done and paid for. And so it was like barely anybody on set, which is great because we had more time and space to kind of like, I felt like, you know, in the Netflix seasons, we had to go so fast because everything was so expensive. And like, it's like, I'd be like, can I do another take? I don't feel good about that. And they're like, we got to move on. I'd be like, all right, you know, I guess
it'll work.
Yeah. And then with this one, it was a bit like, I was like, all right, okay, cool. Like, you know, I was directing a lot of these too. So I was able to kind of go, all right, that's like, we did that. It feels funny. Let's like, what else? And like talking with the actors and kind of being like, what's like, is there something funnier? And then like kind of making it more collaborative. And we're having the time and space to do that, to be able like, you know, like, it's like, that seemed like it wasn't like, you know, you weren't comfortable saying it that way. You want to try to say it this way? Or, hey, do you know, does Crow want to take that line? Servo could switch. Or Emily, why don't you try that? Like, you know, being able to kind of go like, you know, one example of it was like, we had like a bag, it was like a bag of food. And it was like a bag of meat. It was like was the joke. It was just like someone going like, it's like, I got this bag of meat. And then like me and Matt McGinnis, the producer, was just like, was like, hold on. Let's like, we should we should write on it like bag of meat. That's funny, you know, just to kind of really make it. So we took some time down. The art department guy wrote bag of meat on it. We're like, okay, great. I was like, wait, we got to put some stuff in the bag so it looks like there's weight to it. I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. And then like was like, hold on. We got to make the bag wet, because it's like, if it's just loose meat in there, that'd be funny if it's just kind of soaking through. And then like the guy made it a little wet. We're like, make the bag wetter. make the bag. Like it was just like we were able to have kind of like fun stuff like that, like stupid stuff to just kind of escalate, little bits like that, and having the room to do that, which I think is the big difference between this season. And people seem to be responding to it too with these new episodes, where they're saying there's a slapdash looseness to them as they were back in the day, and that's something I've been working to try and do on this season. Now that I have a little bit more control.
I really enjoyed the Netflix stuff, and I haven't seen too many of the Gizmoplex things, but I was wondering about that. I was wondering if it was too big. If it was just one shot, you don't need a lot of people, right?
Yeah, it's like it's the one shot, but like they built like Joel wanted it up. He wanted a puppet trench. So then all of a sudden, now we're on a platform, and now I need like a pathway to like get to my spot, and I have to like jump over a gap, and like it's like and then and so you have to build all that, and then the camera rig has to go up because of that, and then like it's just like, and you need the space for all that, and it was just a little too big, because the show doesn't need much. It just needs, it's like you could do it in a room, and they did it in a room for years. You could have camera facing one way for the Satellite of Love, turn the camera around, have the the Moon 13, Deep 13, like you could have all the like you could have that stuff on the other side. It's very, very possible. But really the meat of the show is the riffing, so it's you can put bells and whistles, you could take away bells and whistles and ribbons, like you could just the sketches could be super dinky and fun and silly. It's like what really is the main part of the show is like, and I'm not taking anything away from the sketches. I love them because I love doing sketch. I love doing characters. I love singing songs and stuff like that. But like, it's like, most of the show is making jokes over the movie. So as long as those are good, I think it's like, it's all you could really ask for.
Huh. Okay, cool. That's pretty interesting. So tell me this, was Mystery Science Theater on your career bingo card?
It's the first. So when I started doing stand-up and I started getting noticed kind of within the first couple of years, and I remember having a meeting with an agent, or a manager brought me in the office. I was like, oh my God. It's like, and he's like, hey, so what would be the, this is how every time you see like a manager when you're a kid, they're like, what would the Jonah Ray show be? What would the Jonah Ray show be if you had a show? And this was like in 2003, I think. And I said, well, we should probably bring back Mystery Science Theater, and then I'll be the main guy. And
you totally said that?
I said that.
Holy crap, that's amazing.
And the guy was like, didn't that get canceled? And I was like, yes, like about 4 years ago. But I think it's time. And so, yeah, it's wild that like it's like literally like because like I was like, my favorite show, I wanted it back. I always thought it was like a literal dream to do it. So it's super wild. Everything else has been a version of what I wanted to do. Let's I didn't get to be on Mr. Show or Monty Python, but Kids in the Hall, but I got to kind of make my version of like a sketch show with Hidden America. Like, I didn't get to be on the A-List or the Night at the Improv, or even at the Improv, or One Night Stand on HBO, but I got to do the Meltdown, so I have these versions and these variations of things that I always kind of wanted to achieve. And I wasn't, I didn't get to be in a Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street, but I got to be in, the fourth Hatchet movie. There's those kind of things where they're all variations on the theme, but it's wild that, literally Mystery Science Theater was like one of those things. And the fact that it happened, it makes the world not make sense.
Fair enough.
Or I could say that it's, positive affirmations and manifestations actually work. Who knows?
Well, speaking of horror, let's get back to the flick. Projector guy, do me another solid and throw on the last reel for Graduation Day.
Spinning it up now.
Groovecore. Alrighty, Fantasticats. It looks like Christopher George has become suspect number 1. And what's the deal with those screaming girls? They were just running around screaming like banshees. Screaming like banshees.
Wow, what was that?
What? screaming like banshees?
That sounds really funny. Way to have fun.
This is making my brain hurt. Anywho, Jonah, let's get back to you before I decide to off myself. So let's get into something I saw you do. It was freaking spectacular. The Teen Wolf live read.
Oh man, when was that? That was a while back.
Yeah, it was way back.
Yeah, that was a while. Yeah, and I played Styles, and Kumail played Teen Wolf.
Yeah, he was Scott Howard. So I got to tell you, I'm a bit of a Teen Wolf connoisseur or super fan, I guess.
Did you ever see the Summer of Tears, like parody kind of thing they did?
No.
Okay, I'll send it to you afterwards. We won't get into it too much, but like a sketch group like just happened to have like a friend who was like great at like compositing, and so they just put themselves into like certain scenes of the movie where as if like people would actually react. Like so it's like them at the basketball game and just like talking, then all of a sudden like he turns into it and they all start going, what the fuck is happening? Like it's like they all like are freaking, they're like, why isn't anybody, there's a fucking wolf. And then like there's like the scene at the diner afterwards, like he like chomps into the can.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
And it cuts like, and they do a good job of compositing them in, but then they always do a good, like really good cutaway. And it's like, as a guy sitting next to him and like he just gets like a spray of beer in his eyes, like, God damn it.
Dude, that's freaking hilarious. But dude, if someone came up to me and said, hey, do you want to read a part in Teen Wolf for an audience? I'd be like, why aren't we there right now?
Me and Kumail were super stoked because that was a lot of fun. Yeah, and then like I've been doing a bunch of those too with Frank Dietz does these Scripts Gone Wild thing where everyone's doing like live reads. I think we're doing Creep Show next month.
Awesome.
Over the quarantine, we did an online one where we did The Burbs, and I got to play Tom Hanks, and that was super fun because it's just yelling most of the time, you know.
I have to bring this up now because it was ridiculously funny. So I was watching one of your stand-ups, and you told a story about playing Truth or Dare with Courtney Love.
That actually happened.
That was real?
Yeah, I was actually at a friend's house, and Courtney Love was there, and we played Truth or Dare, and I was just like, what the fuck is happening? There's always those weird moments when you live in LA. It happens every once in a while. I had like a very same house, different year, like a story where like I was like, you know, like hanging out with Lars Ulrich at this like and you know,
tell me he was downloading music.
He was like talking about songs. Like, is this computer going lag? Should we just, I could just download it. And like, this was before, you know, iTunes and stuff like that. Like, and I was like, all right, like, super weird.
I would have been like, bro, seriously.
He noticed it got weird when he said it. And then he said, I kind of have an alternate hall pass when it comes to this thing. And my joke in the stand-up was like, I was like, okay, first off, if anyone has that ultimate hall pass, it's not fucking you. It's maybe the kids you tried to sue and put away in jail. Second off, that's like Hitler trying to download a Modest Yahoo song.
Dude, I was watching that bit at like 3:30 in the morning, and I was working, and I was like, oh,
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, I dare you to tell us you killed Kurt Cobain. You know, it's time-wise, that didn't really.
After that, I was just picturing Courtney Love in the kitchen. What the fuck was she doing in there making a turkey club? Wasn't it something like that?
No, it's just like, you know, it was a party. So it was just like, it's like there was like a table. We were just sitting in the kitchen, and, you know, that's where people hang out at a party. Yeah, I guess next to the beers.
I figured she'd be shotgunning a beer.
Oh, fuck.
That's so terrible. It's too soon.
Too soon.
On that note, now that I've ostracized myself from my sponsors, let's finish up this flick. Projector guy, throw on the last reel for Herb Freed's Graduation Day.
That bit about Lars made me piss my pants.
Alrighty, well, that was Graduation Day. What did you think?
There was too much violence and language.
It's a freaking horror flick. What did you expect?
Maybe you should host Disney or something.
No freaking way. Well, maybe if...
See? You have the good in you.
I was gonna say, before you interrupted me, that only if it were the Black Cauldron or the Black Hole, Mr. Boogedy, Bride of Bookedy, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Condor Man, Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Yeah, dude, the Banshee.
And what the fuck is Condor Man?
Fear the rainbow!
You sound like a Republican.
Fantastico, those are all the dark Disney movies. Except for Condor Man. I don't know what that is.
It's a James Bond style flick with a dude that has a rad car and dresses in a condor suit.
That sounds fucking stupid.
That's enough!
Right. Anywho, Jonah. So I went out and bought your vinyl album.
Hey, nice.
You Can't Call Me Al.
Yeah, you can't call me Al. Yeah.
Isn't You Can Call Me Al a Paul Simon thing?
Yeah, it's Paul Simon's song. Yeah, you can be my bodyguard. Yeah, you can call me Al. And what's like, yeah, so like when I was gonna put that up, my friend Chantel, she was like, you should call it You Can't Call Me Al. And I was like, solid, done. Like with that whole thing, the whole thing was just done on a lark for kicks. And like, I'm glad people like it. And they're like, we're playing shows and stuff like that now. But it's just like my favorite thing. Like it's a super dumb thing. It could only be what it is. Stupid things taken seriously. Like take a stupid thing as far as you can go. And that's that whole idea with that one. What's funny about that too is that like I made a music video, directed a music video for a guy, a really great musician called Michael Cronin, plays with Ty Segall a lot. And he was like, oh, I want to do a video, but I want to do like a parody of the you can call me Al video. And so I play, like he plays the Paul Simon part, I play the Chevy Chase part. But then I keep on escalating it where then like Kurt Brunell or another tall white comedian comes in like dressed as Chevy Chase, and then we're like, hey, what's going on? He's like, no, we can still do this. And like it's during the song, and then like it's like, so we're trying to both do the stuff, like all the stuff that Chevy Chase does in the video, and then Nick Thune, another tall white comedian guy, comes in, and then Nelson Franklin, another tall white guy, comes in, and then Alan McLeod. So yeah, and then as we're all fighting with each other, Michael Cronin, the musician, snaps and then systematically hunts us down and murders us all. So it goes from being like a parody, and then it turns into like an all-out stalker slasher flick.
That's awesome, dude. You're a really great musician. Tell me, did you write the kaiju rap on MST?
No, unfortunately, I wish I could take credit for that. That was, Joel and Elliot Kalin kind of came up with the base of that, and then it was Paul and Storm, who are a really funny musical comedy duo. Paul and Storm, they did the finishing job on it, and they did an incredible job on that thing.
I thought it was you.
Oh well, I should just start taking credit. I think that's like the rule of like ensemble projects. Like if no one else from the show is around, just say, yeah, that was me.
I sang it. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who are they going to believe? The nerds behind the camera or the guy in front of it?
Yeah, I'm the one that actually did the shit.
I'm the one that had to learn all those fucking words.
I also watched your video for Frank's 2K TV.
My friend Josh Forbes directed that, and our friend Andy did the compositing and stuff like that on it. That one was super fun. That one, the guy who directed that, Josh Forbes, he's the one that's going to be directing the movie that I'm shooting with Alex Winter for Shudder next month.
That was the next thing I wanted to talk to you about. Destroy All Neighbors.
Right? Yes.
It sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I don't know what all you can say, but
I mean, it's in the press release. Like essentially, I'm a struggling prog rock musician that trying to finish an album. A loud neighbor moves in next door, starts kind of driving mean, a little batty, and a bunch of weird circumstances happen, and a bunch of these neighbors get killed, and then they all start to haunt me. Or we don't know. But it's like a real kind of splatter comedy. It's we want to kind of harken back. That's why we liked when we approached Alex Winter about it. We're like, it's like, you did Freaked. You're a big part of this kind of like practical effects thing. And so there's a ton of practical effects that are going to be done by Gabe Bartalos, who, of course, is the guy who designed Belial in Basket Case, and he was also the designer for Spookies and has done a lot of other incredible things. That's awesome. So there's a lot of, we're really pushing, that's where hopefully most of our money is going to go is to just making sure that these practical effects are good. And there's gonna be some digital just for like compositing stuff out, but we're really excited about trying to do a throwback, but without it being like a throwback, not like a just not necessarily not like a parody of those movies, but just like a movie with those movies like that spirit of that or 80s practical effects splatter.
Cool. Well, I'm pretty stoked for it. So do you have any other projects coming out you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, there's like the new episodes of the MSTs. I'm gonna be. I have a small part in an upcoming Joe Bigos movie, which I'm really excited about. Joe Bigos, who did VFW and Bliss, Almost Human. Him and Josh Ethier, who's the producer and editor of First Films, they had me do a few scenes in their next movie for Shudder. So I'm very excited about that.
So here's the last thing I have for you. It's the super ultra lightning round. First question. What's your favorite horror flick?
The Thing is probably like, if I were to say like my favorite horror film, maybe my most watched would be Return of the Living Dead.
Awesome.
Those are kind of my go-tos when it comes to like, if I have to answer, but like, that's always the weird thing. It's like, it depends on my mood.
I totally get that. It makes perfect sense. So next question. Are you a gamer?
You like?
I'm not. I got kind of I did a bad job of choosing consoles early on in like the late 90s, and so I kept on getting burned. Where I was like, "Yep, Atari Lynx. That's the handheld thing everyone's going to get. Yep, everyone's going to be getting the TurboGrafx 16 when it comes to 16-bit technology. Yep, everyone's going to be getting the Panasonic 3DO." So it was after that I was like, I don't think this is for me.
Fair enough. Now everyone wants the TurboGrafx 16.
Should have held on to it.
I know.
Everyone wants to play that bonk.
Bonk. I remember that. Nice. So, are you a wrestling fan?
I was growing up. I used to go every time the WWF came to Hawaii. Later I stopped watching it on TV because it's like I started going out to like punk shows all the time, and so I never was able to keep up. And then it felt like it moved on. So when you kind of like revisit and you're like, I don't know who any of these people are. Well, all of a sudden that guy's
Yeah, that's me now.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes I go like, it's like maybe I should have just jumped into AEW because it's like new for everybody,
All right. Next questions. Favorite Kevin James movie? The proper answer is meh or lie to me. I'll accept lies.
Shit. I'm trying to think of like if he showed up in a movie that was like cool but as a small part. But a Kevin James movie has to be a starring vehicle, right?
Yeah.
That would constitute a Kevin James movie. So I'll just Hitch.
Awesome.
And I'll only say that because like when they were getting ready to shoot Funny People, Jonah Hill would come to do like stand-up shows around town, and he had this like great story about like going to see a movie with his dad. He's like, go see a movie. That's like kind of like one of the only things we do. We don't really like the same movies. It's just like a thing for us to do where we can be with each other and not talk. And like he's like, but we were watching, and then the trailer for Hitch comes on, and I've never seen my dad laugh harder at anything in his life more than he laughed at the trailer for Hitch, where he was like wheezing by the end of it, where he couldn't handle himself the whole time. He was losing his shit. I've never seen my dad like this. And then when the trailer was done, he turns to me and he goes, "Seeing it?" And I was like, "Yeah, no shit, Dad."
Awesome.
He basically just orgasmed in front of me watching the Hitch trailer. He's like, and then I realized Hitch is like basically when it comes to like old divorced dads, that's their Big Lebowski. They'll quote it all the time. But anyway, that's so when I think about Hitch, I just think about that Jonah Hill bit.
I'll accept that answer. Sorry, that was a stupid ass joke, but I wanted to do it.
I love it.
All right, next question. Favorite Weird Al tune you haven't covered?
Ooh, I'd say,
I got you this time.
Everything You Know Is Wrong. That's
Okay,
what I want to do.
awesome.
Because I love that song.
Oh, that's a good one. Next one, okay. Favorite comedian, Kumail doesn't count.
He never officially quit, so yeah, I guess he still would count.
It's too easy.
Yeah, I mean, Norm was probably my favorite comedian, Norm Macdonald. Right now, I'd say Brent Weinbach, I think, is just like there's nobody that really does it weirder or better than him. So absurd and so silly and funny. Also, I just spent a lot of today finishing up editing on the new Kyle Kinane special that I directed. And I think this might be some of his like strongest stuff. He's like really just firing on all cylinders now. I really love it.
Cool. Where will it be? I mean, where will I be able to watch it?
Don't know yet. We did it with 800 Pound Gorilla, and it's after that, it's like up to them to figure out how to sell it. I also, like last year, I directed a comedy special for Kurt Braunohler. You know, it was like he was in The Big Sick. He was on Bob's Burgers and stuff like that. Very funny comic. But like, yeah, we finished it up, and I don't know. It's like after that, it's out of my hands. It's like,
Fair enough.
I just make it look good and make it be as funny as it can be.
You should do one of the Paramount or Netflix specials or whatever. Have you ever been approached by them to do one?
No, I mean, I really don't know if I'm going to continue to do stand-up.
Okay.
I haven't felt the need to. I was kind of getting burnt out on it.
That makes sense.
And I was just kind of like going like, you know, I didn't feel like I had any kind of angle on what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it. You know, and it's a crowded space. It's a lot more crowded of a space now than it was when I started. And also, like, you know, there's, you know, maybe there's just more room for people with the, you know, different ideas. There's like just different ways I want to present my comedic ideas, I guess, is the short of it.
Fair. That's fair. Next one. Favorite punk band?
Dillinger 4. Out of Minneapolis. I think they're the true successors to the Replacements. They're just you can't get, you know, better than those lyrics. They're like, you know, the song titles are super funny, and they're just like good working class punks, you know, just like they're all still bartenders, and you know
that's awesome,
and they just make incredible music.
Oh, okay, cool. I've always been partial to Rancid.
I love Rancid. Rancid's really great. You know, it's I love you know, I was a sucker for Op Ivy as always. This was exciting when the Brennan and the Big Feet or whatever played it. Like but
that's
yeah,
pretty cool.
Rancid's solid for sure.
Have you listened to Lars Fredriksson and the Bastards?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like it's always funny, like when he like puts out one of those records, like the next like Rancid stuff is like a little poppier, and if he doesn't put anything out for a while, the Rancid stuff is a little harder. It's like it's almost like he gets his yayas out, like
he gets it out of his system.
But that's what's so great about Rancid, though, is like as they've grown, where it's like listening to them, like it's like they can go through different styles and genres, and it all feels cohesive. You know, it's like it's not like a lot of other punk stuff where it's just like fast song. You know, it's like they can bring it down to dub. They can do some kind of like more upbeat, you know, rocksteady ska kind of stuff. They can do the hardcore punk stuff. They could do like, it's like they're just good at like mixing it up enough to where it's always like their albums are good listens that way.
Yeah. Totally agree. I also always really liked NoFX.
It took me a while to come around to NoFX because growing up in Hawaii, like all the jocks liked NoFX.
Oh yeah, okay.
And so I was like, I don't like that band. They're for surfer jocks. I like, you know, I like Screeching Weasel, you know, because it's like the guy, you know, was just like a bit nerdier.
Like you guys, I love the Suicide Machines.
Yeah, those machines, and like, you know, I liked Propaganda because they're, you know, a little more political, and you know, but I definitely do like appreciate NoFX more now than I ever did before.
All right, final question. Favorite horror hosting show hosted by a luchador and a demonic pinata?
Ooh, man.
You don't have to answer that. I just wanted to with you.
Well, there's, I mean, I can give like a top 10.
Sure.
I don't want to waste your time.
Well, Jonah, it was an absolute riot having you here. Thank you for outwitting me on my own show. It really was a privilege having you on.
Yeah, no, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to do it.
That's awesome, man. Again, thank you for doing me this solid and taking the career risk of coming on my show.
Turns out you did some real bad stuff back in the day, man.
It was a long war.
That's going to be my... It's like, he's a vet.
You probably just spiked my ratings higher than Willie Nelson at a Fish concert in Snoop Dogg's backyard.
Nice. I love it.
On that note, I'll let you get to it. Hopefully I can get you here in person sometime.
I really appreciate you having me on. And when there's, you know, some guy that comes up to you saying, hey, I want to do what you do, or like I have a little show too, or something like that, you be super nice to them. You go on their show, pay it forward. Keep on.
Yeah.
It's all about the community.
Undoubtedly. This has been great. It's been very inspirational. Thank you again. Jonah Ray, everyone. Catch his upcoming splatter film, Destroy All Neighbors, this fall. Talk to you soon. Well, that was fun as hell.
You really need to stop swearing.
Hell is a place. Now, can I please just have my swear jar back?
No, silly. You have to learn to be nice.
Dropping an F-bomb or any lettered bomb for that matter keeps me freaking nice.
That doesn't seem like you're very happy on the inside.
Not at the moment.
Well, we can fix that with the power of positivity.
Oh, please don't.
It's okay. We can do this through the power of song. Just put some sunshine in your heart. It's the greatest way for your day to start. We all hold hands and start to play. We'll all have a wonderful, happy day. Come on, Fantastico Projector Guy, sing along. Just
This is worse than having to listen to yacht rock.
You're telling me.
Okay, now I'm starting to miss Francois.
Sing, damn it!
Just put some sunshine in your heart. It's the greatest way to start. We all hold hands and start to play. We all have a wonderful happy day. Na, 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 happy day. Yeah. Wait a damn minute. What the hell is this PBS?
I said to stop swearing!
What in the Dark Lord's name just happened? I feel like I was just listening to yacht rock.
See?
That was rather unpleasant.
Yeah, you're telling me. Why the hell did you just turn into a goddamn unicorn?
Unicorn? I fucking hate unicorns.
Dude, you were telling us not to swear and you sounded like Nermal from Garfield on PCP.
You're full of shit, Luchador.
Yeah, well, whatever. For the first time in my life, I'm just happy to have you back.
Ditto.
Shut up, projected douche. Now if you could give me your soul.
Dude, I did.
You most certainly did not.
As soon as I did, you turned into Barney the Unicorn.
Well, that's rather odd. So what movie are we watching tonight?
We already watched the goddamn movie.
I feel less evil for some reason.
Whatever. All right, hip, cool, fantastic hats. That's it for us for tonight. Next time, we welcome some of my good friends, Toby Poser, John Adams, and Lulu Adams, to the Tromaville Rec Center.
Hellbender is coming.
You bet your gosh darned rear end. Sorry, habit. But yes, Hellbender is going to be here, and I can't flippin' wait.
Holy shit. That's fucking epic. Sorry. I have to get this not swearing shit out of my system.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ah, that feels much better.
Oh, wow.
Alrighty, fantastic cats. Have a great night. See you next time with Hellbender.
Turn around.